If you have a 401k, you have a start. You don't have a plan. Most business owners find that out the hard way. After 28 years at that 750,000 up level, the pattern is always the same. 1 bucket funded, 2 missing. Cash you can access, protection size to what you actually earn. Investments outside of your business and outside of that penalty door. 3 buckets. Most owners only have 1. That's what this video is going to fix. And a quick note before we get started. Everything here is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. It's not tax advice or legal advice. Please work with a qualified professional before making any decisions. Here's the question I want you to sit with. If your business stopped generating revenue tomorrow, how many months of personal living expenses do you have access to? Liquid, readily available, completely separate from your retirement accounts and your business. I'm John Rojas, CFP, founder of Tribox Private Wealth. Let's imagine a scenario where a client is generating $1.4 million in revenue, maximizing their 401k every single year, doing everything right by every standard. When we looked at the full picture, his accessible personal cash covered about 6 weeks. His business equity was building real value, but it was not liquid. His 401k had a 10% penalty door if he accessed the money before 59 and a half. He said, I thought I was in good shape, and he was in 1 bucket. He just didn't have the other 2 in place. And that's when this clicks for most people. Let's get into it. There's a 401k trap business owners walk into, and they walk into it naturally. But before we get into the why, here's the framework. 3 buckets. Cash you have access to, protection sized to what you actually earn, and investments outside of your business. Most owners only have 1. Each chapter covers what a missing bucket actually cost. So stay with me. The 401k, it's not a bad tool. It's just being asked to do a job it was never designed to do. It can't give you liquidity before 59 and a half without a cost. It can't protect the income you draw if you become unable to work. It can't function as capital you deploy when an opportunity shows up. It does one thing well. It defers taxes on money you can't touch for a long time. That's not a wealth strategy. That is a delay. When I sit down with a business owner and ask them to describe their wealth plan, the answer is almost always, I max my 401k and the business itself is worth something. 2 illiquid assets. 1 timeline. The money is moving, but not accumulating anywhere they can see or use today. On paper, they're doing great, but to them, it doesn't feel like it. A business owner at 1.5 million in revenue with their entire personal wealth in a 401k and a business equity has the same structural problem as a salaried employee. The structure is wrong, not the income. Has anyone ever shown you what your full picture looks like across all 3 functions of money at once? Not just a retirement account, but all 3 of those buckets. The 401k is not the problem. Treating it as the only plan is. Now, chapter 2 tends to surprise people the most because the answer isn't what they expect. Chapter 2, bucket number 1, cash is not lazy, it's leverage. Cash gets treated like the thing that you're supposed to minimize. Put it to work. Don't let it sit. For a business owner, that framing misses something critical. Having access to cash is your control asset. It's what lets you make decisions from a position of strength rather than pressure. It's what keeps you from selling an investment at the wrong time because it's a slow quarter. It's what lets you hire the right person before that cash flow fully supports it, or weather a client departure without restructuring your personal finances. Let's imagine a scenario where an owner is generating that 1.5 million in revenue, carrying less than 3 months of personal living expenses in accessible cash. Revenue is strong, the 401k is funded, but every dollar above operating expenses has gone into retirement accounts or back into the business. That owner is asset rich and operationally fragile. They should be further along and the numbers say they are, but it doesn't feel that way. One slow stretch and the math gets uncomfortable fast. The assets are there, they're just not available to them. Who is looking at your personal liquidity position right now? Not your operating account, not your retirement balance, but looking at whether your accessible cash is sized to give you the options or just survive a bad month. Right-sized cash isn't the maximum you can hold. It's the minimum you need to keep control. Bucket 2 is one that most business owners think that they've handled, but most have not. Chapter 3, bucket number 2, protection isn't insurance. It's your survival plan. When I say protection, most owners picture a product conversation. Protection is a structural category. Income protection, what happens to your owner draw if you can't work? Business continuity, what happens to the value in the operations if the key person is out? Buy-sell agreements and whether they're properly funded. Different problems within the same bucket. The most common gap for owners is the disability coverage. Size to W-2 salary when most of what they actually earn comes as distributions. Group policies typically cover W-2. That gap between what the policy pays and what the owner draws is often significant. So let's imagine a scenario where a medical practice owner is drawing $350,000 total. A portion is W-2, the remainder is distributions. If that owner is out for 12 months, group disability replaces the W-2 piece. Most owners in that situation assume they were covered. They were partially. And that's assuming they even had disability coverage at all. Most business owners don't feel the need to pay for it until they need it. And business continuity is the second piece. Is there buy-sell agreement? Is it funded? Has it been updated since the revenue grew? These are the types of conversations you're going to want to have your CPA, your attorney, and your financial planner engaging in. Take a look at these opportunities and these vulnerabilities for you. When was the last time you had your group map out the gap between what you're actually drawing from the business and what your protection coverage would replace if you couldn't work for a year? The risk for a business owner isn't losing what you have, it's losing the ability to keep building it. Bucket 3 is where this usually hits because most business owners realize they don't have this bucket at all. If you're watching this and you realize you don't actually know how your money is structured, that's not a small gap, that's the whole game. There's a link below if you want to talk through it. If you're finding this useful and you want more content built around what actually happens at the $750,000 plus in income level, hit the subscribe button. That's exactly what this channel is for. Let's get back into it. Chapter number 4, bucket number 3, investments outside of your business. When I ask a business owner what their investment portfolio looks like outside the business, the answer is almost always the 401k. When we look at that total net worth, the business itself is typically 60 to 90% of it. Most owners are concentrated in a single illiquid position without recognizing it as a concentration risk. Your business at times is your largest investment. It's not liquid, and it's tied to your active involvement and correlated to your income. If the business has a bad year, your income and your largest asset take a hit at the same time. A third bucket breaks that correlation. And the question isn't which product to use, it's what the role the investments need to play. Tax-deferred accounts have a role, so do taxable brokerage accounts, Roth conversions, and non-qualified structures. The right mix depends on cash flow timing, income levels, and what the other two buckets already look like. Your CPA, your financial advisor, work through those specific vehicles. What matters structurally is that third bucket actually exists. How much of your total personal net worth is currently outside your business and outside retirement accounts, accessible, flexible, not tied to 10% penalties? Has anyone ever ran the numbers for you so you knew how you looked across all three buckets? Tax deferred and business equity are both illiquid and tax heavy. The third bucket is what gives you a flexible middle layer neither of those two can provide. And chapter 5 is where the whole framework lands because it shows you what it costs when one bucket is missing. Chapter number 5. what a missing bucket costs at 55. The cost of a missing bucket is invisible until something forces the issue, a slow quarter, a health event, an unexpected disruption. By then, the options are narrower. And here's the contrast. Let's look at owner A, 401k funded, business generating 1.2 million, personal cash, 6 months or 6 weeks worth, no disability coverage that lines up with their total comp, no investments layered outside retirement accounts, feels successful, is exposed. Now owner B, same revenue, 3 to 4 months of personal cash separated from operating funds, protection sized to their actual owner draw, a non-retirement investment account layered that's easily accessible and not correlated to the business, both growing. One has options at 55 and one's going to have a much harder conversation. If someone were to ask you right now which owner you look more like, owner A or owner B, could you answer that with certainty? Or is that a question nobody's ever actually helped you map out? The decisions that created the gap, they weren't wrong when they were made. They were just never revisited as the business grew. And that's the pattern that I keep seeing. The gap doesn't announce itself. It runs quietly until someone asks the right questions. But here's the challenge most business owners face. Your CPA is looking at your taxes. Your investment advisor is looking at your investment accounts. Your attorney is looking at your documents. No one is looking at the whole entire picture to see how it fits together. That is the gap, and that's the role I play. I'm a business owner. I'm a certified financial planner. Our planning is built around 3 core pillars: cash flow, protection, and investments. We help clients think through cash flow. We help them protect and grow what they've built. And when those 2 foundations are in place, they can approach investment decisions from a position of clarity rather than pressure. Cash, protection, and investments. We're not CPAs, we're not attorneys, but we make sure those relationships are coordinated so the tax plan, the legal structure, and the financial plan are all working from the same picture. That's the personal CFO role I play. Now, you came into this video thinking the 401k was the plan. I hope you're leaving seeing it as one tool in a framework that requires 3. And most business owners, they don't have a bad plan. They just have an incomplete one. 3 questions worth sitting on. 1, if your revenue stopped for 90 days, how many months of personal living expenses do you have in accessible, not penalized forms? Question number 2, if you became unable to work for 12 months, what percentage of your actual owner compensation, including distributions, would your protection coverage replace? Number 3, outside of your business equity and your retirement accounts, how much investment capital do you have that is accessible to you before 59 and a half without any penalties? If those questions don't have a clear answer, that's not a problem with your CPA or your advisor. It's a gap in what anyone's been asked to look at. A 401k is one tool. A wealth plan requires 3 functions. Most owners only have 1. And now you might know which one's missing for you. And if you might be thinking of someone who should watch this video, please share it with them. And if you're sitting here watching this video and you realize you only have the 401k in the business and you don't have those other buckets and you're kind of wondering what the 401k implications of having everything's going to mean to you, watch this next video. Stop contributing to your 401k. It covers what happens to the money you've already built inside a retirement account and whether the structure is working in your favor. I put it somewhere, I think here. And if this sparked questions and you want to connect about them, reach out using the link below. Set up a 20-minute chat. I'm here to help, whether it makes sense for us to talk further or work together or not. I enjoy these conversations and I appreciate you watching. Quick question before you go. Right now, do you know exactly how many months of personal living expenses you have in accessible cash, completely separate from your business, your retirement accounts? Yes or no in the comments below. I read all of them. I'm John Rojas and I'll see you on the next one.